Hi, Pro Football Hall of Famer Leroy Butler, and you're listening to the best podcast, the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is my guy, Roman Harper. He is the chaplain for the entire NFL. Welcome to the show, Rome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The best thing about this is that I literally have no idea what he's going to say. And so every beginning, it's like Groundhog Day. We just have no idea what we're going to get. Thank you for that introduction, Peanut.
Yeah.
And we are off and running again on this episode of NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. First of all, let's get all the things out of the way. I want to thank all of our listeners for always tuning in and continue to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Wherever you listen or watch your podcast, whether it's iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, please continue to do that. Give us a rating, 5 stars, please. And continue to hit that subscribe button. And Peanut, who we got in today?
We got a good one. This guy, 12th pick, 2005 draft. In his first 3 seasons, he registered
How many?
39 and a half.
Whoa.
39.5. He got 39.5 sacks. Defensive Player of the Year. First team All-Pro, played 8 years in the league. Now he has his own MMA. It's called Lights Out. He has his own MMA league. It's called Lights Out.
Extreme Fighting.
Lights Out.
Extreme Fighting. Yep.
I'm sorry, Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, can y'all please give a couple of snaps for my guy, Shawne Merriman himself. Mr. Lights Out.
Today?
We snapping today. We snapping
Shawne,
today.
we never snap, but okay. We snapping today.
Is that new just for the day? Y'all brought that?
Hey,
that just happened.
Sporadic, baby. Sporadic.
happened.
I ain't take my pills today. My ADD kicked in.
That just happened.
I felt like doing this. You know, clapping is a little too violent.
All
You
right.
here on the show, we just gonna snap a little bit.
Snap a little bit. I like it.
We gonna snap a little bit.
Well, Shawne, man, thank you, man.
I
Thanks for
should have
coming
did
in.
the whole
man.
intro like this because I know y'all listening, but hey, Shawne, his neck is huge.
This dude hadn't lost no weight in his neck.
All his neck is like, oh. Like I know y'all, we in the LA studios right now, but if you could see the man's neck, my God.
Yeah.
You know the slapping? That's you know they got the new thing, the slapping.
The slap league.
The slap league.
Yeah, I
You
see
look
that.
like you could just take one hard slap right, just and wouldn't even phase you, bro.
Yeah, not with my hands behind my back like the rest of them. They can have that.
Them some suckers,
if
boy.
I'm gonna get slapped, I don't want to return something, man. Like I can't take a slap like that.
Oh my God, that's the craziest.
What do you think about that league?
Yeah.
I think it's you know I'm really close with Dana
Yes.
White, and obviously a lot of my fighters end up going to the UFC. It's entertainment, man. Like you know, people make such a big deal about stuff like that, but I think that most people forget that they sign up for sign up for this. It's not like somebody said, "Hey, you got to go get slapped today, and you ain't got no choice." Like these guys sign their name on the dotted line to go get slapped. So. You know,
It's what it is.
it's what it is.
Okay, all right.
I couldn't do it.
There's no way. That was so random, but I just had to know what your opinion was because I think it's crazy. I mean, from the men and the women, you know, they do have different sizes. It's just crazy. All right. What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
I think I think for me it was a game against the Colts. I had like 3 or 4 sacks or something that game my rookie year, and it was against Peyton, right? Like I remember Ray Lewis when I was in college. I convinced his younger brother Keon Lattimore to come play running back there at the University of Maryland, and so I then returned got really close to Ray, and I remember him telling me that you gotta have great games against great players. Like if you want to be mentioned up to the great, so like. You know, I'm 17, 18 years old. That registered in my head. I'm like, I got to go out and get Peyton Manning. I got to get Tom Brady. I got to get Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys, because that's the only way you're going to make a name for yourself. So that was it, man. And I just remembered all the highlights that was on TV after. It was insane. And everybody calling me and texting me. I'm like, dude, I had 1 or 2 sacks before this. Y'all ain't see that?
No, they don't care.
They don't
Peyton Manning.
care.
You're right.
Peyton
It's
Manning.
about who it is.
Yeah.
That was just welcome to the moment. Like, it's big.
And then not my $32,000 bill that they stuck me with a rookie dinner.
Whoa.
Time out.
Because I don't really necessarily count that welcome in. That was like a take this.
Time out.
That wasn't a welcome. That was take this.
So one of the things that happens, just I'll catch everybody up. So one of the things that happens is when you're a rookie, you rather take the team. If you're the first round pick, sometimes they make you take the team out, or if you are whatever position you play, you take those players out, and then you go to dinner, you go to a movie show, whatever it is, club, bar, buy a table, and then you are left to pay the entire bill.
Yeah.
Was that the whole team? That was the whole
everybody that was 4 years and in, 4 years and older.
12th pick.
12th pick, yeah.
All right. Pre-CBA.
Yeah.
So y'all was getting paid.
He knows the difference.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Hey, y'all was getting paid. I ain't gonna say, I don't know what it is. We can look it up, whatever. But yeah, that was when it was good money back then.
Yeah. And it was no holds bar too. It was like
You're right. They didn't.
somehow the number 7 pick was making more than the number 2 pick. We don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
But
That's called a good agent.
Somebody had a good agent. Yeah.
That's called a good agent. So I know for me,
Hold on. You got to tell me about this $32,000 bill. Where did we go? What did we do? How did we get up to that number?
So we went to a place called Papa Moose Grill in San Diego, up in Del Mar, and
Racetracks.
like right there by the racetrack. And so I'm sitting there, I'm having a good time. I'm thinking like, okay, cool. I got to buy some food, or, it's not registering what's about to happen, right? I'm going there with a smile on my face. I'm happy about it. Man, I get a chance to take the guys out.
And you're the only rookie.
I'm the only rookie. So we had a later round draft pick, Luis Castillo, who really forcefully had to pay a couple thousand, but that was it. But I took on the brunt of that bill. And so I'm sitting there, and they ordering food. Big Jamal Williams and LaDainian and Antonio Gates. Like everybody's Lorenzo Loneal. Everybody's having a good time. And these are my guys, right?
Fullback.
And so I'm just sitting there, and they ordering stuff. And so they had this bottle to come out that I'd never heard of. And so I said, what is this? It's Louis the 13th.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. They bought it in store, too.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting there. We have a couple shots and drinks. I mean, I loved it. It was at the time, one of the best tasting things I've ever had in my life.
No doubt.
So we go through that bottle, and Gates look at me and say, oh, man, that was good. I said, yeah, just get another one, right? So
love this rookie.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. You got
Clearly.
You got to get what I'm saying. I don't know. And so we go through that bottle, and I order a third one, right? Ooh. So I order 3 of those. Don't know still. I look over at Drew Brees. Drew has 2 bottles of wine
to go.
And so I'm sitting there.
Him and Brittany getting lit at home.
Dude, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't know what wine. Like, I'm thinking it's $100. Yeah, whatever, right? So we finish up. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's smiling, full. Yeah. Had drinks. So the owner of the restaurant comes and grabbed me. Said, Shawne, I need to see you in the back. I said, for what? Just bring me the bill so I can go ahead and take care of this tab and we could be out. He said, no, I need to really see you in the back. I said, for what? Just bring. He said, Shawne, definitely, you want to see me in the back, right? So I got up, walked in the back. We went back there by the kitchen, and he hands me the receipt. Now, you ever see the receipts that from CVS? One thing that dropped that
oh my God!
So the receipt dropped almost to my foot. No joke. It dropped always. And so when the bill is bad. You know when the bill is bad, right? You're looking like, hey man, I ain't ordered these mashed potatoes. Right?
That's what you are, Chris.
Mashed potatoes. I ain't want garlic in that. Take that off.
The bill was so bad. I was fighting over asparagus, like everything. I'm trying to. So I lift the bottom of the tab up. I lift it all the way up, and at the bottom, I see 32,000. I'm counting the digits, right? So I'm thinking it's like,
okay, ones, 10s, hundreds, thousands.
So I'm sitting there like, and I'm going through the receipt. Dude, my knees got weak. I thought I was gonna pass out, right?
1,000%.
And so anyway, I paid the bill. We was out, and I'm so mad that my black card didn't decline. I wanted to decline. I wanted to try to figure out where to get out. I was hoping they called me, right?
It's like,
call me in the restaurant and say, hey, this is not me. I didn't know what, I didn't
Yeah.
food.
That was going to be your out.
They never called. It went through, they never called.
Damn black cards.
And so, that, I don't know if you want to call that
that's a welcome to the, that's definitely.
Whether it is or not, it's a great story.
That's a welcome to the NFL moment.
It's great, but I didn't talk to LT and none of them about a week.
I don't blame you. He was hot. He was real mad.
Yeah.
So do you still drink Louis today?
Nope. I'll take that back. I had a glass of it. It was the NBA the what they just summer league.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
they had an event.
Oh,
I
yeah, out there in
came
Vegas.
here. I seen it after that PTSD. I seen the bottom. I'm like, they reached out to hand me a shot.
No more.
My shaking to reach out for the bottle, man. But it was good. I never bought one after that.
You know what? The best thing about that happened with me, I was a second round pick, and I knew that they start doing those things. And so we had to take the whole defense out. So I had to take the whole defense out, and my man.
Just the defense.
Just the defense. And so what Charles Grant told me was like, look, you better show up with a bottle of Louis XIII, or we're going to get one there at the place. And he's like, my honest opinion, you should go to this store in New Orleans.
Oh, man, that's a good
and
bet.
go get it. It saved me.
Couple
Yeah.
thousand.
Well, it was like 900 and something at the store. Yes.
And it's like 4,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
At the restaurant.
Saved
It's
you
like
some.
$4,000. Yeah. So I got mine for like a little bit over 1,000 or something after the taxes. But
That's a good vet, man.
he looked out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your first 3 years, I mean, killing it. You made it look easy. I think we all know what the we all know the lights out dance. And I mean, I know we were playing. I'm an 03 guy. You came out 05, whatever. But I gotta say, I was a fan. Like, we sit there and watch. Like, man, he is killing it right now on third down, fourth down, second down. Like, he is just like, you were the man in all of the NFL. And you made it look so easy. Was it really easy for you?
Well, I was fortunate, right? Because I got into a really good situation with a really good coach in Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
So, Wade had this philosophy like you're going to do what you do great like 80% of the time, and what you're not great in, you're going to do 20%. So I didn't have to worry about too much coverage. And even when I dropped, it was in flats, seeing something. I didn't have a lot of responsibility. They wanted me to go. And in fact, I struggled because I held out the whole offseason. I didn't show up to like two weeks before the first preseason game. So they handed me this playbook that was about this thick, and it looked like the encyclopedia, right? I'm like, what is this language y'all just sent me? And so I struggled to pick up the playbook, and they all, Wade Phillips, John Pagano, Greg Minuski, and they all brought me into a room, and they said, sit down. I said, all right. I sat down. They said, we want you to do this. We want you to see ball, go ball. And I said, Coach, what does that mean? He said, we're going to line you up, tell you what side to go, and after that, we want you to go get the football. That was my playbook for like the first three weeks of the season.
That takes all the thinking out.
Play fast.
That was it. And so, slowly I started to pick up on things, and I was able to, swap weak side to strong side. If they shifted or did anything, I was knowing every side of the defense, because I might be coming, I might be dropping, I might be rushing, whatever. And so, but they made it very simple for me. So I really credit them for, kind of put me in a position to do what I did best, and that's to go get the quarterback.
Now, tell me this. In 2007, I got to know this. I mean, you look like a tough guy. You really played with like a torn LCL and PCL, like the last 5 games, and you still had all those sacks that year.
Yeah.
Like, and I heard you doing another podcast. You're like, that's probably one thing I wish I would have done better in my career was take some time to rest. Mm-hmm. Like, don't just try and rush back, because that later on made me maybe compensate a little bit. The next, I had an Achilles.
Yeah.
Right. And so kind of really started to your body started breaking down, and you weren't smart about just backing off of it.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of regrets, because every time I even practice or I stepped on the field, I tried to go as hard as I possibly can. I never shied away from no contact. I was looking for contact every time I got an opportunity to. But that's one thing I wish, because maybe it'll prolong my career. And I'm saying, like, some of these guys go get their jackets and
damn
that. So it stung a little bit when I first retired. I'm good now, but when I first retired,
for sure. I mean, especially the way you started, bro. You were it. Like,
And so I was playing with, I was torn PCL and LCL, and I was playing so well that I went to go see 3 or 4 doctors in the country just to figure out if I could keep playing or not, as I was.
Yeah.
And they were like, man, we just saw you have 2 sacks on this thing. Like, we don't want to touch you.
Yeah.
Because it was a big, it's one of those things where you're going to be out 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
And no Dr. Andrew. I mean, I went to see everybody. And Dr. Andrews, when I seen him, he was like, he said, Shawne, I watched the game. I'm like, I don't know what you want us to do. And so that's why I ended up starting the next season and just playing through it. And then it was so unstable after that first game, I had to.
Yeah.
But if I can take it back over again when I got hurt, I would have, or even right after the season, I was going to miss part of the next season.
Yeah.
Got it done, because longevity, it could have helped out on some things.
Do you think you were forced into like getting back right now, or was it all just
no, it was me.
It was just
it
you?
was
Okay.
me. It was me.
I think that's so important too. The word longevity. Like when you first get in the league, our mindset, we just want to get there. Then we want to make an impact. We want to make a splash. I don't think we ever really realize like the longevity part of it is what really separates the great ones from everybody else. It's like, man, you got to be able to have a stretch of just impacting and changing the game.
Yeah.
Exactly what you were doing. But man, if you do that for 10 years versus those 8 or 11 years, man, you are right there.
But
you know
that
what I mean?
was that your
You are
first
the one
time
with the
ever
gold
being
jacket.
injured though? You know what I'm saying? Like I know you've had some injuries, and we'll just I kind of have a 2-part question. But speaking of longevity, high school, college league, were you ever injured in high school or college?
No.
Was it right?
Oh, that's another thing,
And
too.
that's you don't know that. You just
Yeah,
all
that's
you know
another
is just
thing.
like, I played, I don't know, 4 years of college, 10 games, we'll say 40 games in college, and if you go to a bowl game, we'll say 45 games in college, or 40 games in high school, 45 games in college.
Yeah.
And then you're just playing these games straight, and you don't know what it's like to be injured. So the first time you get injured, it's kind of like a, damn, what? I know I got to get back out there.
I couldn't fathom it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I couldn't fathom it because I think that we all walk around like superheroes.
Yeah, we
right?
do.
All of us. No matter what stage you're at, and then like the mentality is a superhero. You can't get hurt, or if you do get hurt, you can just play through it. It don't matter.
Right.
And so, look, you can play through some hamstring stuff and try to get through whatever. But I was playing on an injury that shortened my career.
Yeah.
And so at the time, too, we had an opportunity to win a championship that year. We went to the AFC Championship game, which I played in that game with nothing. I had two sacks against Tom. And I'm talking about when I stopped on the ground, my knee was sliding. My knee, I can feel it sliding backwards and forwards. And I was like, man, this is the year we're gonna win a ring. So I'm not getting this surgery. And if I do, it's gonna be after we win the Super Bowl. That was my mentality, and we didn't. And so once I finally get the surgery, they said, hey, this is going to be a 8-month, 6 to 8 month deal minimum.
Yeah.
Right. So I couldn't really fathom that part, missing that amount of time. And that's why I continued to play through it.
It was the same thing we did in Carolina my last year, ACL, whatever, playing whatever. Different story, different time. Talk to me about what game. Do you specifically remember what play it was when you had some knee issues in a player or lineman or whatever?
Yeah, I got hit by Kevin Mawai, another offensive lineman, against the Titans in 2007. And I never really talk about it too much because I hate complaining. But, I got hit. If people watch the game, watch the film, I was 20 yards away from the play. So you can kind of figure out.
Hey, we keep receipts around here, dog, especially as defenders. We keep receipts, dog.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. I talked to Kevin Mawai about it. We straightened it out. And, but to your point, we talk about longevity, that game alone, before I got hurt, I had 3 or 4 sacks. That was like in the first half. I had like 2 or 3 sacks in the first half.
Yeah.
And so, they
try to slow you down.
By any means necessary.
They try to do anything else.
Yeah.
They're like, man, you brought this on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. What I want to know is, with all the sacks and all the success you had, how many times did they piss test you? Your first 3 years.
A lot. 20 times. I actually got suspended in 2006. And before then, I was piss test 20 times in my first year.
That does happen. I want everybody to
Everyone
know.
knows that,
You go out there and have a great game on a prime
Piss
time,
test.
but you will get you will get piss test.
Oh, yeah.
Within the next 24 hours. That happens too.
Well, I mean, so I failed my 20th one, but I passed at 19. I said, listen, y'all give me some credit, but I passed 19, and y'all can't let one slide. No, but it's. For sure, and guys now, because social media wasn't as big back then.
Yeah, of course.
So you see some of these guys now, like I think Aaron Donald had a big game, and he posted, or J.J. Watt, it was one of the guys.
Yeah, I knew somehow,
who posted his piss test the next day when he had a big game. They ain't no random about that. It's like,
no,
we got it, yeah.
Mine was anytime after I hit 30 and I had a good game, I got piss test after the game. Right. It was like clockwork.
I got an email 3 years ago to take a piss test. I swear. And I tweeted about it. I showed the email. I was like, you guys realize I've been retired for about 3+, maybe 4 years now, and y'all still want me to take a pee test. Like, that's just, yeah, they got.
Oh, they gonna find you.
I was like, I ain't been in the league in 4 years. What am I taking piss test for?
They called me one time. It was my birthday weekend. I was in Vegas. And I woke up to a call. I'm hungover. I'm rolling around. And I say, dude, who's calling me? And I noticed it was the NFL, random number. And I'm like, oh, this guy. I answered the phone. I said, dude, you ain't gonna get nothing but tequila out of me. Trust me. So that's all y'all getting from me. But it came up, but they'll come out wherever you are.
It's part of it. All right. So all that happened, the injuries, all these other things. Now you're like, okay, at what point in time do you know it's time to retire? Walk away? Because we all know at some point.
But I think that we're the last ones to know.
You're probably right about that. That's a great
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that
you're in denial, kind of.
You're in denial. You don't, because what makes us great and put us on that platform is not just because of our physical capabilities, because how we think and our mindset, how we set our mindset to go and do stuff. Mm-hmm. And so my mind is telling me I'm the first 3 years, right? Yeah. Body-wise, the explosion, I can still do all these things. But my body is like, no, you ain't.
Yeah.
And so I started to notice, like, my last year in Buffalo, and I played some of the guys who I played against in the Chargers. I would normally dog these guys. Like, I would just, I would dog. And so I didn't have, like, that burst off the line of scrimmage or being able to turn a corner because my Achilles wasn't, And that Achilles, man, it is the absolute worst injury.
I've heard it.
In my opinion, it's the absolute worst. And I had my knee, a fully reconstructed knee. I came back from that. I was fine, actually, from the knee. The Achilles is the one that stopped me from the get off from the line of scrimmage. I lost that. And then when I lost that, I became like an average to above average guy. I wasn't like great, and I wasn't explosive anymore. And so I was watching film, and I said, man, this got to be it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, because, it was the same guy who I played against a couple of years back, about 4 years before then. And I was dogging. This guy couldn't block me. And he was blocking me, and man, I couldn't do nothing. He was grabbing me up, and I couldn't get off the block, and I couldn't get around him. I couldn't retrace to the football. I said,
that's when you
know. About it. That's about it. And so
what did that do to your ego watching that?
Mentally, yeah.
Well, for me personally, that's what pushed me into retirement, right? Because I played with a level of confidence and know that I'm gonna get off from every game. I'm gonna have a big play or have a big sack or do something to change the games. And even at the end of my career, I would have flashes to being able to do it, but I couldn't do it consistently. Mm-hmm. So I'll pop up in the first quarter somewhere, then I'll disappear half the second quarter, and I'll pop up again in the second half and make a big play. When it's like every time I got off the ball, you had to worry about me every single time. Mm-hmm. And then I got to the point where it was just flashes of it, and so mentally it started to beat me up more than physically. Oh yeah, I could have went back and played. I could have just hobbled around the league.
Could have stole a couple years.
Could have stole a couple years. But I said, man, if I can't do what I did before, why am I here? I couldn't mentally grasp that to myself by watching me on the film and knowing that I'm not what I was.
Mm-hmm. So my guy Rome went to Radio Row this past Super Bowl, and he fell in love with it. Had an awesome time. He couldn't believe it. He was like, "Oh man, this is Radio Row." Like
it was my first time.
It was his first time. Like, he was just eyes wide open, like he was in Vegas for the first time. Now I know you went there, and there was some type of there was an offensive lineman. This is before MMA. We'll get into that, but there was an offensive lineman who challenged you to a fight.
Yeah.
Who was that? And like, let's dive into that a little bit. How does that story go?
Everybody said they want to fight, man. You know what I mean? Like,
man, look at this dude.
No, but okay, so this is my thing, right? I'm in the fight business in general. And so the reason why I love it, because it reminds me a lot of the locker room. Mm-hmm. Like, the back and forth, like even if the guys don't fight, it's just a constant, what's up? What's up? Hey, it's just that back and forth. And to me, the energy, I love that energy. I love being around it because it keeps me, I'm laughing. I just stay young with the rest of the guys. And so I'll go and spar pros. I sparred, cruiserweight champion last week, and I'm in there. And we're not going at it, trying to knock heads off and knock each other out, but it's a lot of good work. And so when you see a guy, and I'll tell you who that guy is, it was Cal Turley.
Okay.
That I guess he came up to my one of my publicists, and he was like, wanted to fight. He wanted to fight, right? And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Who's he want to fight, man? Because I'm already in matchmaker mode. I'm already in promoter mode. I'm like, man, I can match this guy up against him, and I'm
in your mind, you're ready,
turning, right? Because I'm already thinking about it. And he's like, yeah, Shawne. You know that the Kermit the Frog meme when he's like that? It's kind of looking. So I was like, what? That's not something that's smart for you. I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it. There's a couple WWE guys, current and former, that want to fight. And I told them, come over. I'll send you a contract. We'll work out the details. And we can do it in Lights Out Extreme Fighting in my league. I got no problem with that. But I also think that in fighting, in the business in general, you don't go you can play basketball, you can play football. We played it, but fighting is just one of those things. Like you
can't play.
You can't play. You better do it or don't do it, right? Because if you're not fully capable mentally, physically, and you're ready to go in there, we've seen some tragedies.
Was it the Jake, the YouTuber? What's his name?
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. When the basketball
Nate
player,
Robinson.
Nate Robinson. You don't play boxing.
Yeah, Nate ain't sparred. Dude, he went in there.
It's like, I'm gonna just go fight. I'm like,
yeah, he messed around and found out, quick. And it's one of those things. I love being on the backside of things because we have production, with TV trucks. And I love being on that side of the business, the promoting, the marketing, the putting the fights together. I love that side of the business, but it also too that edge in me, that little bit to say, I can go with some of these guys, and I know it.
Yeah.
But unless you're ready to step in there and do it all the way, man, I haven't done it.
Now, what led to you trying to own there's a lot of ups and downs with it, but what led you to owning or getting into trying to have your own league?
Yeah, so I started, training during the off season back between 2005 and 2006. So I'll go do my off season workouts, whatever. So I can get my what do you call it, the
bonus,
the workout bonus. Yeah. So I'll go get that workout in, and I'll end up going to train. I was training in Jay Glazer's gym. And I grew up boxing. My uncles were professional boxers, so I grew up just naturally boxing. And he's like, man, I didn't know you can box. And I said, yeah. He said, have you ever tried MMA? I said, no. He said, I think it'll help your hands and being a better pass rusher outside linebacker. So I said, oh, cool. I'm down. I'm done. He texts me an address. I go to this address the next day in L.A. I walk in the gym. Jay Glazer's here. Randy Couture is here.
The great one.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Jay. I'm like, yo, what? I ain't fighting Randy today. I hope you know that's not, He said, no. We're gonna work, right? Show you how to use your pummel, grapple.
Yeah.
Use your hands, leverage, and all that stuff, man. And it was humbling for me that day because I'm 50, 60 pounds bigger than Randy. I'm stronger than he is. I'm more athletic. And yet he's sitting there tossing me around, and I can't figure it out. And so I knew that there was something about this sport that was going to help me in the field. And that's why I came out in 2006, and I led the NFL in sacks. I started using my hands and being able to bend the corner.
Yeah.
Big time. I wasn't high anymore. I mean, I'm opening up and turning around those big tackles. And that's when I knew it was something about this sport that was going to help me in football. And so fast forward, I started doing it every single year, and I ended up launching Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Back in 2019, and we're on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports.
Yeah.
And so we just crossed over into the top 10 most watched all time. Our last fight we had in May, we just crossed into the top 10 most watched all time.
Damn, that's what's up. Yeah, man, congrats.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll talk about. Let's stay on that topic.
Yeah.
Right? Where do you guys fight at? Because I want to continue to promote this. I think it's awesome that you have gotten into this. I'm a big MMA fan. I don't have football sports, so I'm not able to watch it all the time. But where do you guys have your fights at? How often do you have them? And just kind of let's talk about it. What makes your league? And tell also what makes your league different than the other leagues?
Yeah, we got a big fight coming up this Saturday in San Diego at Casino Palma at 7 p.m. So everybody out there listening, you get your tickets at lightsoutxf.com. It'll be outside. We got some cool stuff, some cool cameras, drone cameras just flying over the cage, and
Yeah.
that's really cool stuff. And we have the next up and coming superstars.
Right. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot.
UFC got me into the sport. Like their branding, their storytelling, they're building their fighters. And so I've been around. My first UFC fight was in 2005. I've been over 35 fights over the last, however many years. And so I got a chance to see that from a distance. But we also played NFL, where it's the biggest production. It's the biggest storytelling. It's the biggest pathway to getting it out there, because nobody's really done it bigger than the NFL, especially here in this country. So we come from that. So that's what I'm used to being a part of. And so fast forward, us launching the fights, we're doing a fight every 6 weeks. So we'll go Saturday, then we're October 7th, then we're at the end of November, Long Beach. And a lot of these fighters in California in general, there's a ton of fighters that just don't get an opportunity to come up. Like we have amateurs. We're going to be showing amateurs live. Nobody's doing that. Showing amateur fighters, because these guys are going to end up turning pro with us. Some of them.
Yeah,
most of them.
for sure.
We end up turning pro with us. And so we're kind of bringing these guys all the way through, and we're kind of creating loyalty with them and kind of getting behind them, promoting them, and giving them a shot, because when it comes time to turn pro, they're like, man, those guys put me on TV. Like they took care of me. And so a lot of these guys are end up turning pro. But we want the young Conor McGregors. We want the young Ronda Rouseys. Amanda Nunes. We always looking for them. And then when we can't, facilitate the partnership with like the deal anymore, like have them there because either we can't pay them or they want another opportunity. I tell them I'll drive them to Dana White myself up to the facility. We don't mind that.
I saw a picture of O'Malley, who just won the belt for the UFC in like 2013. This dude like skinny, regular old
curly hair.
Yeah. And now you see him, it's like, but that's
like
what you're talking. Yeah, but that's what you're talking about.
Right.
You want to get those early guys, and then we want to continue to promote you. Come on here, let you fight in front of this body. We're gonna put you on TV. And then you're going to continue to progress. So you guys aren't enemies with UFC.
No, not at all. And then, UFC's so big, man. They're not, they're not worried about anybody else. And so what you can hope to do is, we got a lot of tech coming, right? Fan engagement tech, tech and gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Different cameras. So we've become more of a incubator for AI and tech, and like we can do some really cool and fun stuff that UFC, they can't do it because they're too big.
Right.
They got too many loyal fans, and we're just kind of getting off the ground to the point where, our viewership is great and people know about us, but we can start implementing a lot of these things without messing things up too much. Not this fight. This fight will have the drone cameras and stuff we're trying out because it's outside. We have the aerial view. To see the top of the nobody's done that yet.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
Innovative. I like it.
Very innovative. And then after that, we're starting to implement some of this other fan engagement tech and AI that we got coming.
Yeah, so I know when I played, one of the biggest things that I would try to do is lessons learned, right? When I think I became the player I was because I really focused on my failures when we would lose a game or I'd have a terrible game, and I would look at the film, take my notes, and try to figure out, like, what could I do to become better? Now, you starting out as an entrepreneur, you got your own league. What have been some of the lessons learned for you thus far?
That is chaotic. You have to almost be able to operate in chaos in this sport because, this week we had a guy that went down accidental headbutt in practice. Like one of our top guys, he sold 200 tickets. Oh. And so when you have something like that, now you're like, okay, we're
how do we feel?
Yeah, a really good fighter, up and coming guy that sold 200 tickets, and how do you replace that and figure that out? Now you got to work with the commission to make sure that their the new guy medicals are pushed through, last minute replacements. Find a guy who's ready in 4 to 8 or 4 or 5 days, right? So all those things, and also you have Fubo. Like my team is constantly in communication with them on production, engineering, and satellite feeds and secondary satellite feeds. You name it. It's a lot. It's a nonstop thing, man. But honestly, I wouldn't rather do anything else.
Okay, I was literally going to ask you, all this sounds hectic, but but this is what you want.
I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't want to do nothing else.
Yeah.
For me, it's very hard to replace that feeling of running out the tunnel. 70,000 plus. It's very few things in this lifetime that can do that. Or a big hit, or pick, or punching the damn ball out. It's a turnover play that just puts you guys in a different, so it's very few things in this world that can do that. And that's why a lot of guys struggle when you're done, because getting home to those text messages and people calling you and everybody, it's very hard to replace that feeling. And I found something to replace that.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because that same passion to have you going to do this over here, right? That big player, whatever it is, like this is it for me. Like I don't want to do anything else. And to bring a lot of these guys along, these up and coming guys, we got former athletes, NFL guys, or guys that didn't play that long, maybe 4 or 5 years, and still ready to go. We're transitioning these guys right now. We're going to be announcing some really big signings here. People come and fight for us that played in the league. Just didn't have that long career that a lot of guys did.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Was you've been a really good outlet for that realm where a lot of the former players or athletes, whether it's football or other sports, that are very interested in mixed martial arts, that, hey, you can come here and be a part of it. Well, are you helping those guys train for it? How is that transition going? And what kind of advice would you give anybody who's interested into it? Because like you said, it's more coming down the pipeline. It's not, this is just the beginning. This isn't something out of the ordinary or something just a fad.
Yeah. And you're right. That's going to happen a lot. You see Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson took a fight. Greg Hardy had a short stint in the UFC. Frank Gore, like this guy's coming.
And I think Ocho Cinco boxed too, didn't he?
He did, and he looked good too.
Yeah.
We gonna do it.
And so, hold on.
Lights out. We fighting.
Who we fighting?
We fighting each other on lights out.
How much you weigh?
I'm 207. I'm 210. He 205. Let's get it.
I'm not 205, and I'm not fighting. But we just talked about this.
Thomas,
you don't
don't
play
try.
fight.
How much?
I'm not play fighting. This is not it.
How much do you weigh?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm probably like 198, 200.
Oh, you lied.
202.
202?
I'll get the 205.
You get a 205? Y'all can do that.
Dude, you don't play fight. Like, you just said this. This is what we just talked about.
I don't have boxing experience, and nor do you.
I have no boxing experience.
But look, even better. That's why to make it a great fight. You got two, C level guys that's fighting.
Oh my gosh.
I think that people want to see it.
I think that people want to see it too. Bro, let's go. Let's go.
I'm trying to paddle out of this so fast. Like, whoa,
how much time do you need?
Give me 6 weeks. I'm ready, coach.
Are we gonna be in the October throwdown?
Yeah.
October 7th. You could be ready for that.
October 7th. Let's do it.
I think I got work that day. We was just talking about that.
It's a Saturday too. So you working on the weekend?
I do work on Saturdays. Good. All right, I can't make it.
We can do it on a Sunday.
Yeah. I can move it.
We talking to the man himself.
Oh my God.
We can do this.
Dude, look at my chin, bro. I can't take a punch. My chin is not wide. You see, look at his neck. My neck's decent. But
we got 6 weeks to get big necks and chins.
Like, dude, how do you do that? Like, how do you get better at taking a punch? Can you do that?
No, the whole goal is not to.
See, so I'm already looking at it the wrong way.
Yes, that's a bad strategy.
Anytime someone comes to me and like, listen, I don't want to get hit in the face. I say, yeah, that's the whole point. Okay. When you want to avoid getting hit in the face. I mean, it's part of it.
Oh my gosh, you got me crying.
I know. What's been one of the worst punches, knockouts you've ever seen? Where you were just like, oh my God, you got, the reference from Friday, you got knocked up.
In MMA?
MMA, your league, yes, sir. We're talking all lights out.
In my league, it was actually an amateur kid who came through.
What's you know his name?
Ryan Shazar.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've had some guys, man, some knockouts, and obviously, that's I love it.
I was like, isn't that the best part about it, though?
Well, you want everybody to be safe. But it's the same thing, man. Like we all love big shots and big knockouts and stuff like that. But also too, like, because I'm behind the scenes and been around sports, I like really technical stuff too, where I'm looking like, man, that dude's skilled. Like his ground game, the way he get up, his takedown defense. I'm looking at everything, and just guys, how they keep the composure. But I think at the end of the day, we all love a good knockout.
Oh, for sure. You've never done any boxing, no grappling,
No, I have. My son does jiu-jitsu, so he does MMA.
I try.
My son does it, and he loves it. I've just learned watching him and listen to his coach on some stuff.
I tell anybody this, especially former guys, man, like, okay, if you don't want to fight, no problem. But what I do think that everybody should do, and you've seen Tua just start picking up jiu-jitsu, I think that every former athlete should pick up some form of combat sports. I don't care if you're just boxing, jiu-jitsu, grappling, whatever it is. Pick something up, man, because it does something for you. And whether you're going to fight or not doesn't matter. But I just think in the headspace, mentally, to stay disciplined, stay competing in something, it does a lot for you.
So the name Lights Out. Now, I did a little bit of research, and they say you knocked out 4 people in one game in high school.
3 in the first half.
3 in the first half.
1 in the second half.
1 in the second half. That's basic math for you. 3 plus 1 is 4. Not 4, but 4. Now, walk me through that. Like, was you mad? Was you like,
was you mad?
Latimer from the program? Was you just like, like, were they little? Were they big? Like, give me some context.
Have you ever had those games you feel like you're like in a zone that you just kind of blank out, like it's just a blur? Everything you're doing is right.
No, I remember it. It wasn't a blur. I remember
That's
it.
hilarious.
It just like you can start like you feel.
I do.
Just start trying stuff.
I do. And everything worked.
Yeah, and everything worked. I mean, I had a game like that in the pros. We played the Raiders on Monday Night Football. I had like 4 or 5. It was like I felt like I could have won for 7 sacks. They kept me in the game. I didn't play the fourth quarter. It was one of those times where I felt like I could have got 7, 8 sacks if they kept me in the game. It was like that in high school. It was like anybody to come here is getting blown up. Like that was like everybody that's coming my way is getting blown up, and they did. And
some mad mamas.
So the next game we had a
Hold on, you can't talk about next game.
Okay.
So tell me the play.
Yeah,
like
so-
who got dropped?
All
when?
4 plays.
The fullback, I broke. So everybody go to knock down, and go to sleep. But if they got up and then returned in the game, we counted that as being knocked
yes,
down. So
yeah.
the fullback broken collarbone, and he went off. He was done. Offensive lineman would kick the onside kick. He was done. Quarterback on the sweep, he was done. And I think it was a running back who caught the ball out the backfield. And so, at that
The men amongst boys.
but when this happens, right, this is pre-social media. And so what happened after that game, I had about 20 students come running to me and say, man, you knocked these guys' lights out. And I was like, yeah, call me lights out. I didn't expect for it to happen. Like, I was like, yeah, call me lights out.
So was that where
So
high school?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was my sophomore in high school. This is pre-social media. So I got to class. I got my book bag on Monday. And I'm carrying my books around, and people walking around, they're like, yo, what's up, lights?
I like
And I was like, ooh, it caught, that's
like
fast.
that.
This
I
was
like
fast. So I went home, and I rushed home. I went to knock on my mom's door. She was home from work already, and she smoked cigarettes, and I'm walking in the room like I'm doing that. And I said, hey, Ma, we got to get this lights out tattoo on my right forearm. And so, because I had one of my boys to draw it up, and I was like, I want a lights out tattoo on my forearm with the hand, just one I got now. And she said, boy, get the hell out the room, right? She told me to get out. And so every day for 2 weeks, I was like,
hounding her.
Every day. And then finally that at the end of the 2 weeks, she said, all right, come on, leave me alone. Let's go. We're going to leave. And she took me to get this tattoo. And so that's where the lights out thing happened. We had a game on ESPN my freshman year at the University of Maryland playing Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
The wide receiver Watkins. It was the hits on YouTube. Watkins, I wasn't starting. I was dropping into the flats. It was a crossing pattern. And I came in, hit him. His back went immediately to the ground. Whop.
Yeah.
And I got up and I did that. And I didn't jump at first, right? It's just that. And the crowd got louder. And that's when I did that. Yeah. So my coach, Ralph Friedgen, who was the head coach at the time, he came over there and said, if you ever do that again, you'll never play. That's what he told me.
Celebrate.
And so my it's like
Head down.
Head down. Like, oh, man, I can't. I went from here to here in 2 seconds. But I walked down the sideline, and my coaches and everyone hit me. I said, yo, what was that? And I was like, yeah, so that was a lights out dance. And it stuck.
Took off.
That was it. That was
man.
it. So that's how that happened.
I'm amazed that because I didn't know about the lights out
I didn't
until you were
either.
in the league.
I thought it was you did it when you was in the league.
That's what I thought, too.
You got your first sack. Was like, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like
No.
it. I didn't know.
I just think it's
High school.
It's brilliant because the marketing was there.
Yeah.
The passion was there. And this was before anybody else was thinking about this. But, bro, you were onto it.
Yeah.
Lights out. Like, that's how we all know you. And we all saw you with the switch on your arm. I mean, eventually you're in the league. They can shine in on your tats. So
Yeah.
we can finally see it.
I like that brand building in high school. That's, yeah.
On top of it.
That's big.
I was wondering, because that was going to be my next one, was like, did you go by lights out or lights in college as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, still. And in fact,
So your homies call you Light?
yeah, lights.
Okay.
Yeah,
Light skin.
lights.
Look, Thomas looking at me like,
Hey.
really, dude? Really, dude?
Hey, look, he hating. Don't worry about it.
I'm not hating.
Well, we in right now, so that's why he got a problem. So.
No problem, no problem. I don't want no smoke.
and so what ended up happening was my second at the end of my first year I got some money when I was in the league, and I ended up buying the name and trademarks. Lights Out.
Smart.
I like
So it
it.
was a company called PJ Salvage, it was a big pajama company in Irvine. And my friend who was a trademark attorney, we reached out to them and I ended up acquiring all the trademarks and everything for Lights Out.
And that's how you're able to do Lights Out, Extreme Fighting,
the clothes.
yeah, everything.
Else, yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Tried
dude.
that with Peanut Punch, but Hershey owns it. I couldn't get it.
And they don't need your money.
No,
Hershey does not need your money.
They don't. I tried it. So look, man, you've great NFL career, college, high school. You're doing your thing in the Lights Out, this MMA with your own league. Life's about journey, and we got guides, and they help us. Who have been the mentors in your life? If you had your own personal Mount Rushmore with 4 people, who would be on it?
It was first of all my high school coaches. They took took me in. We lost our homes, and I was homeless for a while when we were growing up as a kid, and again in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so my coaches, and my dad wasn't around like that. Even though I got a good relationship with my dad now, my dad went around. So my high school coaches kind of took that step to have that kind of figure.
Yeah.
And then for me, man, it was like I got really close to like Diddy and Puff, and like a lot of people who were moguls. And so I got a chance to spend the time around them, like days, months, weeks, all that stuff, and spending time with them. So I started to learn a lot faster than most people because I can pick up the phone and call them. And that to me was invaluable to be able to pick up the phone and call people like that. Mm-hmm. A good friend of mine, Stephen Jonah, who put me onto the clothing space and showed me licensing. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump was another one who took me under. Early on in my career, I spent a lot of time with him on the business side.
Yeah.
He did, man. I was spending a lot of time with him in his office and hanging around him and flying places with him. And he would go in and have his licensing department and all these people like, hey, whatever Shawne wants, make sure we get it.
Nobody's better at branding than him.
Yeah. And I learned a lot of that from him, just the branding of the hotel, licensing of the hotels.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he was a big influence. That's good. Go from Diddy to Trump, right? It's like the
I mean, you're rolling with some high class. I'm not lying. I mean, it's pretty.
I think Roman's the most. I think you and Dub are the 2 celebs I know.
No, I appreciate it. Well, now you know 3 because
I know 3.
No.
Lights Out's pretty big time.
And so I was fortunate, man, because I had a really good circle of people who were very successful. A good friend of mine, Ted Waite, who sold Gateway Computer. Jeff Hoffman, who started I think Priceline or Priceline. And so these
you have really met moguls, bro.
Yeah,
and been around them, you can pick up, talk to them, and they're
bounce ideas and questions.
Yeah. I think that's invaluable.
And then like I said, when you call on people like that to pick up, it means a lot. So
well, I'm getting your number after this because I might have to bounce an idea or a question off you. So you gonna be on my Mount Rushmore, my mogul. You are mogul now, so we gonna ask you some questions.
Mine. I got one more question before we get out of here. We usually end on the Mount Rushmore question, but I got to know this: is there any former current player who Shawne Lights Out Merriman would love to go in the ring against?
Oh. I mean, if Cal Turley won it, I'm just there's some guys out there. For me, man, being on this side of the business, I stay out of calling people out because I think that's for the fighters and promoting fights.
Yeah.
And the contracts that I did, send out, like Adam Hunter, who's a comedian for the UFC and does a lot of stuff for the UFC. He asked me the other day, probably about 3 weeks ago, about me fighting Shaq. Right? He's like, hey, would you fight Shaq? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, well, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm the type that, if somebody's really serious, then I'll make it happen if they're really serious. But I'm the one that I'll send the contracts out behind closed doors. I ain't going to the media. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm gonna see if they really, really want to do this. And they're gonna get a contract from me. I'm gonna say, hey, what's your price, and let's and what it's gonna take for you to do it. And then I'll start to work that, and I'll send a contract out, but I don't get no responses. So like some of these guys will do that and disappear and like be on social media or somewhere, and they're talking about it. I'm like, Bobby Lashley from the WWE, he's another one that wants to fight. I'm like, okay, where do I send the contract? How can we get this done? So my answer to that is anybody who wanted, I guess. I mean, I don't really have a.
Are you doing the lights out dance if you drop one?
No question.
Okay.
You got to. You got to. I ain't seen it. I love to see it. I ain't seen it in a minute. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah. Hopefully one day real soon. And then we'll talk offline and figure out where you can send that contract for me and Rome for our fight.
Yeah.
When
for Sunday.
Yeah.
Right after church.
Right after church. So we can get it in. We can get it in. I ain't gonna leave you hanging. He left me hanging. I got you. I got you. All right, hey y'all, and that's the show, man. I'm speechless.
All right, you know what? All right, we're out of here. Thank you for all of our listeners, wherever you pick us up at. Shawne Merriman, you've been a blessing, man. Thank you for spending time with us, man, encouraging us and really entertaining all of our listeners and viewers.
This was a good one.
This was really good, man. Anywhere you listen to it, man, keep listening, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Whether you listen at Apple Podcast or iHeart, man, this has been a blessing, man. This has been awesome. Thank you, LA. Thank you, NFL Studios, NFL Players Second Acts Podcast. We're out of here.
Peace.